I have a little job coming with these 8mm diameter stainless steel rods. This one's got an M6 thread in one end, and this one has an M8 external thread on the other end. And the requirement is to cut them off to length. They're both different lengths, and just thread in an internal 6mm internal thread on each end. And the measurements required, for example, one is 216 and one is 225mm. So I thought, okay, fair enough. Digital calipers not long enough to measure that, because they stop at 150mm. So I thought I'll just use a ruler. It's not a critical measurement. I use a ruler. And then it occurred to me, how accurate is a ruler? So I dug out my 14-inch verniers, manual verniers, which are about 350 centimeters, 350mm. So I set the verniers to, in this case, 216mm, and I thought, let's have a look and see how accurate this is. And it's nearly a millimetre out. I know these aren't accurate, but a millimetre. So I thought, okay, I got this rather inexpensive what do you call it? Square, set square. So I thought I'd measure that, and it measures from this end back, which is sort of backwards, really. But when that's half a millimetre out, it just goes to show. So I've set this to the length that I want one of the rods cut to, and that gives me something to go on. So we're going to go and cut it in the lathe. So we'll see you there. I've put the stainless rod into a 5C collet on the lathe, and out of interest, I'm measuring the run out of this particular collet. Now all collets vary. You get good ones, you get bad ones. This is the only 8mm one I've got, so it's the one we're going to have to use. And it's shown me a run out of about 9.5 tenths, so just under a thou. Perfectly fine for this application, but I would have expected better from a 5C collet. So I think as I use my collets, I'll measure them all and try and go through them, because I do have some doubles. Anyway, so that's what we've got, and we're going to part this off a little over length. This is a 4mm cut off, 4mm width cut off tool, which is probably a little on the large side for this job, but I do like this tool. I've used many of the more modern types where the inserts just clip in and push out, but I've not had much success with them, if I'm honest. So we're just going to use this one. Now I have resharpened this particular piece of carbide on my tool and cutter grinder, so it's got a very sharp edge to it. It'll be interesting to see how it does. I think we're probably a little bit too high, so I'm just going to adjust the tool height slightly. That's better. You can feel it's better. I have to say that once I've sharpened these inserts, they do seem to perform better than as they come in the box. Probably better suited to this smaller manual machine with a sharper edge. So we're just going to take it to there and then we're just going to break it off. So now I'm going to clean that up so that we can measure it. Speed the lathe up a little bit. There we go. Just take off any burr that might be present. There probably isn't one, but I need to take it off. I'm going to pop this out of the lathe now and take a measurement. I'm going to measure it with the verniers that I set earlier. I'll just do that off camera. So what I've done, I've got it in the verniers. Let's see if I can. So we want 216 and we've got 221. So we need to remove 5mm off the length, which is easily done. So that's back in, and now we're just going to remove 5mm off the length. Just touch off, set the dial on my top slide, back out. Two full turns on my particular machine, is 5mm. And we'll just part it up again. No messing about, just straight in and lob it off at the correct length. There we go. We're done with that tool for the minute. We'll now come in, because we're putting a 6mm thread in the end of it. We're going to drill it with a 5mm drill bit. Now this is a carbide drill bit. Stainless steel is not a very nice metal to drill. It work hardens very quickly and you need to get in and get out before the metal gets too hot. So once you start cutting, you need to just keep going. And I'm using carbide because it will suit stainless steel better. As you can see, that is drilling like silk, which a high-speed steel drill bit could have issues. And the last thing you want is a jam. Now I need to just double check how deep I need to go with that. I'm going to use a brand new tap this time. setting the lathe onto a slow speed and starting the threading off with the lathe. Stop there. Finish the threading off. By hand. That does feel a bit on the tight side. So we're going to run a slightly bigger drill bit through there, because I know those carbides are slightly undersized. And it's fine for being slightly undersized for mild steel. I was saying, it's fine to be slightly undersized for mild steel, but not for stainless, because stainless will grab the tap and you'll snap it. So we need to give it a touch more clearance. Right, the drawing calls for a chamfer in the end of this, but I think I'll take that 0.5 millimeter off first before we do that. Just speed the lathe up a bit. Yeah, doesn't seem much, but that's what the drawing asks for. So we're going to use this, where are we, this 3-fluted carbide drill bit as our chamfering, internal chamfering tool. That will do. And then we'll just chamfer the outside edge. So we'll just there's a little chamfer, nothing much. Make sure we've got no sharp edges left. You don't want anybody cutting themselves. I'll check the part. For length. And we're spot on. Again, we're just checking with our vernier gauge that we showed earlier. It's not showing very well.